And Senator, I wouldn't endeavor to try to improve on Dr. Hutchins' response, but I would concur with it.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you both.
Very good. Thank you, Senator Slotkin.
Thank you. Welcome to both of you. Dr. Hutchins, I want to continue on what Senator Moran was talking about, which is the importance of research. I'm from Michigan, and farming is a huge part of our life, and Michigan State University, great land-grant university, does a ton of agricultural research. I grew up on my family farm in Holly, Michigan, so this is an issue that's close to my heart. But I'm also a CIA officer by training, so I think about agriculture through a national security lens. And what I'm concerned about is that, assuming you'll be confirmed into your job, you will oversee the single potential largest cut to agricultural research in American history. The president's budget proposes a $600 million cut to research. And while I am I'll sign on to any bill that promotes research and infrastructure because my farmers depend on it. What I'm concerned about is the president's budget says that there's $600 million of agricultural research that's either woke or waste. Do you believe that $600 million of our current research in things like potato, varietals and legumes and all the things that like my farmers are desperate for, do you believe that we have $600 million of either woke or wasteful research right now?
Senator, thank you for the question. Truthfully, in order to answer that question in any meaningful way, I need to understand the specifics of what's being proposed and what's not. I have no idea the value of what's in that context, but what I can commit to you, Senator, is that we will utilize whatever money Congress provides in order to ensure that we're having the best return on investment, that we're supporting all the farmers that we can in your state and others.
I would just say you don't want to be the guy who oversees the biggest agricultural cut in research in American history. Tell me, in your best estimation, the one country in the world who's doing significant agricultural research now, that's investing heavily in agricultural research, besides the United States?
Senator, I'm sure it would be China.
It's got to be China. And I'm not trying to play gotcha. I'm just saying that it's a zero-sum situation, right? We want to invent the next varietal. We want to figure out the next best farming technique. And China is stealing our technology, our intellectual property, and then investing boatloads into their own research. So I don't want to be second to them. I want to always be the world leader. And I would just offer that not only do I want that kind of as a national security thing, but our farmers want to be able to compete, right? We've closed the legume research facility at Michigan State University, the potato variety. When I do town halls with farmers who are, I promise you, not people I consider woke or wasteful, they are the ones who are saying, can you bring that back? Can you help me figure out how to get that? Because otherwise, what are we going to be investing in? How are we going to stay competitive? So I would just ask for you to stand up on behalf of that research, which isn't woke, which isn't wasteful, but is going to the farmers who we all, I think, on this committee want to protect and want to see succeed. I just ask you to stand up for research when and if you're confirmed for this job.
Senator, Secretary Rollins has made it very clear her support for small farmers and their needs, and I will stand with her on that regard.
Well, I hope you will. Let me just turn to Mr. Hoskins. You'll be overseeing the departments that look at avian flu, right, that make sure that we don't have an outbreak. Michigan, we had an early outbreak, and we did, I think, a pretty darn good job of controlling it. And I think we've become a model around the country. But again, I'm concerned that there's been firings from the Department of Agriculture of people who work on avian flu and then rehiring them the next week. There's been kind of this sloppy approach. And then in terms of the buyouts that were offered, I understand that over half of the veterinarians who coordinate the testing and research on avian flu took the buyout. So what are you going to do to make sure that with all the staffing firings and changings and voluntary departures, you're going to still be able to have a handle on the next version of avian flu?
So thank you for the question, Senator, and for the time your staff gave me in your office before today's hearing. They raised this issue and a number of others. Obviously, with High Path in Michigan, you all have a diversity of production practices that are impacted both on the poultry and dairy side. I've looked at Secretary Rollins' 5-prong approach in addressing mitigating high-path AI. And if I were confirmed, I would do everything I could to implement that post-haste. To your question on staffing, as someone who's not at the department currently, I'm not privy to the briefings or assessments of resource needs or gaps, if any. But what I would commit to, if confirmed, was making that assessment and supporting and standing by Secretary Rollins' public comments that she will ensure APHIS has an adequate workforce to address their core mission, which includes protecting U.S. agriculture from animal and plant diseases.
Well, I wish you luck in that. I hope you do. Thank